Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Wrestlebacks, Episode 2, part of the Card Subject to Change family, right here on the For Frequency's Sake Podcast Network. We are powered by Lopez Pizza and built by Durham Remodeling, and we got a hell of a show today. Let's just jump right in, gentlemen. Joe, I'm going to let you take charge like we did last time, since this is your baby. Tell us what we're doing.
Oh, boys and girls, back in your life, like the 2016 presidential race being brought to you 12 years before you thought you needed it. This is Wrestlebacks Episode 2. Gentlemen, it's so good to be back. How are you guys today? Nick, CZ, I missed you guys so much.
Miss you too, Joe. We got to get you back out here to the High View soon, but I know fall is a busy time for you. You are a multifaceted podcaster, announcer, and whatnot, so you're busy. I get it, but glad to get you back here into the room to talk about a couple matches here.
Couple of matches, yeah. I almost hit you up the other night to have a little late night wrestling session, but I needed to get home after watching the fights. Regardless, we're here. We're excited. We spun the wheel. We did episode 1. We did Cody versus Roman 1 from Mania 39. Episode 2, this was CZ's pick, which means episode 3 will be Nick Bull's pick, and it'll probably be something from the 80s. Can't wait for it. But tonight is CZ. We are going to dissect the feud between John Bradshaw Layfield and dun, dun, dun. Look, we're out here. A real American. and Eddie Guerrero. We're going to talk about the build-up. We're going to talk about the schisms, and we're going to talk about the. We are also going to talk about the two matches: the match from Judgment Day and the match from Great American Bash. So let's jump right into it. Unless CZ, Nick, y'all had anything else you wanted to rip off before we got into the shit, before we got into the shenanigans?
Oh, I think there's going to be a lot of ripping in this episode. So I'm not going to, without further ado, man, it's all yours. Take it away, and I'll interject when I need to.
All right, so we go through, we break down, we kind of do the big picture stuff. Then we've got some fun categories. We are going to deluge into the deluged or whatever tonight. That is for sure. Let's kick things off with the legacy of the match. Eduardo Guerrero himself, may he rest in peace. This was 2004 was his year, folks. He had just beat Brock Lesnar to become WWE champion in No Way Out back in February. He then beat right before that he had his feud with Chavito. He had the feud with Chavo Guerrero, which ended up at the match at the Royal Rumble, which he won, which he then used to springboard into a singles push. Of course, like we said, the win over Brock, then beating Kurt Angle in a all-timer WrestleMania match at WrestleMania 20. And then this became the big feud, which was against John Bradshaw Layfield, which, when you look at his side of the ledger, is much more interesting because Bradshaw was a forever tag team wrestler with the APA, the Acolytes, whatever you would want to call them, depending on what year they were in. But then all of a sudden, his tag team partner, Ron Simmons, known as Farouk, his career was coming to an end.
Damn.
And very damn. Sources do say damn.
Hey, Ron Simmons, by the way, Joe, a 2-time All-American at Florida State.
Go Noles,
as
baby.
A nose guard,
mm-hmm.
and finished 9th in the Heisman voting one of those years.
Hooper.
College football Hall of Famer.
A legit athlete.
A legit badass.
We could have used a Ron Simmons on Saturday.
We could have used a lot of Ron Simmonses on Saturday. That's neither here nor there. I don't want to dwell on that Florida State loss, but I will brag about Ron Simmons as a freak of nature and a legit badass. One thing I do want to bring up, before JBL fell into the tag team realm, he was Justin Hawk Bradshaw. I remember that, CZ.
Oh, yeah.
Early mid-90s. Not like, I'm thinking like 94 to 95, 96-ish. he was Justin Hawk Bradshaw, the Texan, but he had long hair, kind of a Fu Manchu, and carried the bullwhip around. He was kind of like the modern Stan Hansen. Like he had a big old dip in and was just slobbering everywhere. So, yeah, Justin Hawk Bradshaw was what he kind of debuted as on the WWE side.
And that would have been during the New Generation era, if I'm not mistaken. They're right on the cusp of it.
Right on the cusp of it. Yes. Yeah. If he was in the New Generation, it wasn't for very long.
Because that's technically right before the Attitude Era, right? Because that's like that's like between In Your House and the Attitude Era, or no? Am I tripping? Do I have my eras back mixed up?
I look at New Generation as like 93, 94, 95.
Okay, so yeah. And then okay.
I don't know if you want to go like, when's the Attitude Era start? When did the Attitude Era start?
I would probably say, when was WrestleMania, like right around when Stone Cold, I would say right around right after WrestleMania 13, when Stone Cold has the double turn with Brett, maybe?
I think it's WrestleMania 13. I think that's when the Attitude Era starts. You never before would have had the fans go over for a bad guy like that the way they did, and for the fan favorite like Bret Hart to do what he, to have the other guy go over. Yeah, I think that's the start of the Attitude Era. So those few years in there, I'd call the pre-Attitude Era. Man, we got way off topic there.
But Bradshaw was he was in the tag team, multiple time tag team champions, Attitude Era with Farouk. They were in the they were known as the Acolytes and the APA. They weren't they in the Ministry at one point?
They were in the Ministry of Darkness. They also won their first tag title right here in our backyard at the Mark of the Quad Cities.
Oh, baby. How about that? So, March 18th of 2004 is JBL. The character basically isn't born, but it becomes a thing. So, they have a tag team title match. This is the Thursday night SmackDown, back when it was on Thursdays, right after WrestleMania 20. Farouk and Bradshaw have a moment backstage where they laugh at then general manager Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman says, if you guys don't win the tag titles against Scotty 2 Hotty and Rikishi, shout out to the Worm. If they don't win, then they're fired. Then you're fired. They lose. He only fires Farouk. He says to John JBL, he was like, I like your Moxie kid promo to JBL when firing Farouk, and Farouk was like, we leaving? And JBL's like, it's so funny. While Farouk's leaving, if you go back and watch it, he's like, I got a business portfolio to me. My portfolio is so huge. And while Rod's leaving, he's like, Rod, we can still be friends. It's so funny. It's so funny.
Hey, one is going off to start a stock portfolio or manage one, right? The other one is starting a black activist militant group.
Yeah, exactly.
Who would have thought?
These things do not belong here. So, yeah. And then we get the week after that, the ding, 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 ding stock exchange music. JBL walks out with the limo. I can't remember because I watched this. I was doing all my research this week and I forgot. I can't remember if the first entrance he had had the limo or not. I don't think it did. But he said, Tony Chimmel says, now presenting John Bradshaw Layfield. And it was like, who? And his first promo is really good. It's arrogant. It's cocky. Talking about his portfolio. He's holding his book. He's got a show on like Fox News and CNBC. And yeah, JBL, the heel, the man who became the biggest heel outside of Triple H in in professional wrestling, in American professional wrestling in the year 2004, was born right after WrestleMania 20. And we're off to the races, boys. Give us some early JBL thoughts, if you can remember.
Okay, at the time, I'm like, what in the F are they doing? This guy's the world champ. But as time passed and years go by, I love it. I freaking love it because people are going to hate it. Anybody hates the rich guy who doesn't look like they should be there, or the rich guy, period. See $1 Million Man. Okay. So he was kind of the modern day $1 Million Man, you know.
I'm glad you brought that up because I actually have something that ties in the match build.
I'm telling you what, and DiBiase is DiBiase main evented at WrestleMania, period. Mm-hmm. Main event of WrestleMania, no questions asked. Okay, in my opinion, they got you there for a reason. DiBiase is a great wrestler, and if you ever want to go back, watch some Mid-South stuff, like early '80s with DiBiase in Mid-South. He was amazing. But he's kind of the modern day. I'm speaking in 2004 terms. The modern day DiBiase, and then you see him, contending for the champ and eventually becoming the champ. And at the time, he's doing his job. You hated it. But as time marched on, I think, like you said, the most hated heel in the company, that became he even superseded and became the most hated.
Oh, yeah.
Just for how he carried himself, a pompous ass.
Oh, we're about to talk about some stuff, buddy. Buckle up, everyone. But you're right, though.
And I know we're going to get to it, but the racist undertones in this, it makes me laugh because who's Bradshaw's best friend in wrestling? Farouk, okay? I guarantee you JBL is the furthest thing from a racist. And that's what I love about it. And the fact that I loved when he works with Eddie. I loved when he worked with Ray. Whenever he worked with a Mexican, because he was a Texan and he was going to give you the Texan take, whether it was political or not, politically correct or not. And I always love that because JBL, I think, had the blessing to go over the top or whatever. But he never went that far where it was like, oh my God, listen to this guy. I mean, he was great within the realm of his character.
There's some stuff that we have our own dedicated category to some of the hilarious quotes. I mean, hilarious might be the wrong word, but when you look back at it, listen, it's just to hear it being said out loud is funny. But to be said in CZ, I'll let you kind of break off this. I put down here like JBL's gone on record talking about how Eddie would give him ideas on how to structure promos. And there's an angle that happens during the build where they're in Mexico and Eddie's father, Gory Guerrero, was being, there was like a memorial for him and they're doing something for his mom. They're giving her flowers and everything. Eddie and Chavo came up with the idea. This is on a house show where JBL goes in the ring, hits Eddie with the belt, and then like grabs Eddie's mom and she like has a fake heart attack. Like, Eddie and Chavo are like,
I don't think he grabbed her. I don't think he grabbed her. He put his hand on her shoulder.
Yeah. He put his hand on her arm.
He reminded me of that priest you see on late night TV in the all white that touches people and they just collapse. Yeah. That's what that reminded me of. Like JBL put his hand on her shoulder and she played it awesome. She grabs the Eddie's mom here for the win, right? She grabs her chest and just collapses.
10 out of 10.
It.
10 out of 10.
It was on a house show.
In Mexico.
Yes.
The only thing I can think of, like in recent memory, where something like that was done was the whole Cody and KO thing after the Royal Rumble. Was it after the Rumble? What was it after? Where it was all done on social media. It was not shot by WWE cameras.
Oh, where they had the fight backstage?
Yeah, what pay-per-view was that after?
It was after, wasn't it after Bad Blood?
There you go. You go. Yep. So that's the only thing I can think of it. Like this meant something if they're doing it at a house show. If they started it at a house show in Mexico, they got plans for this. Okay. Otherwise, they're not even going to bother to roll the tape.
How often do you see an interaction at a house show brought onto television? You don't even see it nowadays, but of course they're lessening the house shows now, but still you don't even see something like that nowadays unless it means business, unless there is something big that's going to happen.
Right.
And this definitely was something big, something special between these two.
Yeah, like the biggest house show in the last decade. I mean, since like right before COVID was, well, I guess it's almost been a decade now since this. But like the biggest house show thing that's happened since then is when I think it happened at the Mark, the Shield's
Shield.
last match.
Yes, it did 100%.
With the last time they had a 6-man match. So like, yeah, man, like it just, this type of stuff don't happen. And I think going on, I think it shows like what they were trying to do to get this character over and the stuff that Eddie was willing to do. And JBL has gone on CC multiple platforms to say how he owes his career to Eddie because of what he did to get that character over. And we're going to kind of talk about here in a little bit why that had to be, because of the state of heels on that side of the railroad tracks in WWE at the time. But regardless, they put a lot of effort in to get this character over in a way. And JBL did a lot, but Eddie did a lot as well for everything to click together.
Yeah, 100%. And anything Eddie does is magic, in my opinion. He's such a tremendous talent, whether it's his in-ring work, whether it's his promo work. I find myself often wondering what it would be like in today's world if he were still with us. Because I think it'd be worlds different. I think it'd be worlds better. And we've got a good product right now. I'm not dogging that. But just imagine where the world would be if we still had Eddie Guerrero because of his greatness in and out of the ring.
There's a lot of
I agree fully with what you said. I don't know if I want to go on my Eddie rant yet.
Do you want to save can we save your Eddie rant for hottest take?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No, I agree with you. What would we give to have Eddie Guerrero interacting with Dom Mysterio right now?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Would we give? What would we give? If Dom's out there and there's the Judgment Day's been taken out, Ray's not going to help him, and Eddie comes through the crowd to help his boy out. Like, what would we give to have that moment? Like, that's what I miss. That's the biggest regret or whatever I have watching this is like, damn, because he would still probably be in the business, be a part of it.
Yep.
So
can you just imagine if he had been away for a few years, Viva la Raza, and then that pop from the crowd? Can you just imagine what that would be like?
Oh, no, it'd be unbelievable. But that's the biggest. I know it probably comes up later. That's the biggest what if. What if Eddie was still alive?
Yes,
that's when I'm watching. I've got the match on right now. I've got it on, and I can't help it. It's like, God, what if he's still alive? Like, JBL's still around, right? JBL's commentary on these AAA Worlds Collide show and still makes appearances. So with that being said, I think he would still be a part of things and be very much a face and very much a mentor. And that's the biggest what if for me. What if Eddie was still around?
It's crazy to think that this is 20 years since he's passed away.
Dude, this is nuts. It's nuts to think these matches are 21 years ago.
I know.
They stand the test of time. They do not. If I would have sat somebody down who did not know about wrestling, and I'd be like, okay, what year is this? I guarantee they would guess within the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it has that feel. This does not feel like 21 years old. 21 years.
No, not at all.
So,
or maybe we're just getting old. I don't.
We could be. We could be. I can't wait to talk in the categories.
I'm 45. Yes, I'm not gonna say I'm not getting old. So
we're getting there. We're a little washed. Some more washed than others. I can't wait. One of the categories, spoiler alert, is what's the most 2004 thing about this? So this is when this happened. Can't wait to dive into that part of the show. All right. So the match build. So. Well, real quick, wrestling around this time, as we said, we're just fresh off of WrestleMania 20, where Eddie is WWE champion. WrestleMania 20 ends with him hugging the artist currently known as Redacted. To close the show, he was the World Heavyweight Champion. the WWE draft happens between Backlash and Judgment Day. Triple H was drafted to SmackDown for about 48 hours. And there's a I tried to do some internet research on this. So Triple H gets drafted to SmackDown. And then on Thursday for the SmackDown show, they say that Triple H was traded back to Raw, but he was traded for 3 people or 4 people. No, 3 people. Booker T and the Dudley Boys. I don't know what the gimmick is as to why that happened. There's a promo at the first ever ECW One Night Stand.
That's where I was going. I was going to say the same. I was going to say this.
Where Paul Heyman said, it fits because he's talking about JBL. He said, JBL, you were only champion for 10 months because Triple H didn't want to work Tuesdays. I don't know if any of that is actually legit. That's something I tried to find some internet research, guys, onto what that was about. Like, if Triple H was, because the top heels that were on SmackDown at the time, the biggest bad guys are on Raw. Lesnar's a top heel. He leaves. Angle's a top heel. Angle's a top heel. He breaks his neck again in the WrestleMania match with Eddie. So they got to make up this thing with JBL because Triple H, I don't know if that was legit. I don't know what you guys might remember or know or found anything out, but that was one of the things I tried so hard to find.
I think there is probably some legitimacy to it, and here's why. JBL on that whole lead up to One Night Stand just bashed ECW for how crappy they were and how crappy their talent was. So I'm sure there's some part of it. I'm sure Paul said to JBL beforehand, hey, I'm going to say this. And JBL's probably like, go ahead, knowing the reaction it got. I mean, this is pros working together here, pushing buttons to get a reaction, and nobody's getting butthurt. Right. I guarantee you, JBL probably laughed at Heyman and said, yeah, do it. Let's do it.
Of course.
Because go back and listen to it. That's the one thing. That's the one line that I remember from Heyman's promo that night is that, JBL, you're only the champ on SmackDown because Triple H didn't want to work on Tuesdays. I mean, come on. That's such a great line. And come on, find the fault in it. Find the fault in it.
I was just trying to see, like, okay, did something actually happen to where Triple H was supposed to go to SmackDown? Because that was something I was thinking, like, if that was legit. I mean, I know at the end of the day he was just ribbing, but was that something that he thought that he maybe tried to do? The world may never know. So other than that, wrestling around that time, Nick, it's easy to step out for just a sec. I'll ask you, what do you like early in that stage, 2000? We mentioned Redacted as the world champion. We might not bring him much up again. We don't have to. But wrestling in 2004. This is I think I've told you. This is when 8-year-old Joe the Show. This is Joe the pre-show at this moment, if you catch my drift. That's how young I was. This is Joe the pre-show Winkle. This is my first taste of wrestling was early 2004.
Okay.
So I was in it to win it. Deep dive. What were your thoughts of pro wrestling in the early 2000s? The ruthless aggression era.
I graduated college 2002, watched it all throughout. 2002 to like 2004, 2005-ish, I was off and on. I do remember watching WrestleMania 20. I got married May of 2004. So like a month or two after, I probably didn't watch any wrestling, but I knew what was going on. Okay. I kept up with it. I just didn't keep up with watching it on TV. I thought wrestling was in a, we're in the teeth here of the ruthless aggression era. And, you just come off of Mania where you have, two underdogs standing at the, tall at the end of the night. Those guys weren't supposed to win those matches. They're supposed to be there. So that you have that. And then, this is also the date and time where we had the brand specific pay-per-views, if you can remember that. outside of Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series, everything else was brand specific. So if you didn't watch SmackDown, I mean, I was young at the time, ran around on Friday nights. I didn't watch SmackDown, would watch Raw. So I really didn't get to appreciate the Ruthless Aggression SmackDown era until well after the fact, because I did not watch it live. I was more of a Raw watcher and didn't really watch wrestling on Friday nights.
And I was kind of in that same wheelhouse. Not really watching SmackDown that much. The fact that we're in show branded pay-per-views and every other month the opposite show is having a pay-per-view, I think I'm gonna I'll give a hot take right now. I think that's something that could be brought back today and wouldn't have an issue, because it would showcase more talent. Yeah, you may not see some of the people every month on one of the pay-per-views, but you showcase more from each show, especially with the 5-match cards that they're doing. When you have these branded pay-per-views.
How does that differ, though, from the episode? The presentation now, like, the way Netflix is, you don't know the length of it. I guess SmackDown's still on broadcast television. It's on cable TV. I just didn't know, like, at the time, I understand why they had brand-specific pay-per-views. I just don't know if it would work today.
That's fair.
I like your point, and I'm not totally poo-pooing your point. I like your point. I just think it'd be oversaturation. They need to. I think it'd be hard if they did a brand pay-per-view. It might be a hit the first couple months, due to the the novelty of it. But I don't know if it can work today. But I mean, shit, they'll try it, I'm sure.
Here's my thought process on this, and it helped this match build specifically, which is what I'm about to get into, is that having to do like an extra month worth of storytelling, because the pay-per-views were, basically staggered. You'd have a Raw pay-per-view one month, the SmackDown pay-per-view the next, and vice versa. I think that helps storylines like this get some steam, because they had to do a lot of storytelling to get to this match to where it got to by the time the matches happened. And I think the long period of time that, JBL's character gets introduced in the first week or the middle of March, after WrestleMania, the Judgment Day match is May 17th, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 2 whole months for this story to build week by week to get to a point where by the time you get to Judgment Day, the crowd is losing their shit for everything that happens, because they want to see Eddie Guerrero literally murder John Layfield. So did you have something else you were going to add there, Nick?
No, I was just going to say, like, this Ruthless Aggression era going on. This is where SmackDown kind of coined the term "the wrestling show," was right around this time forward, because they prided themselves in focusing on the wrestling, while Raw was more of the entertainment show, so to speak, since it was a longer show. And on top of that, you had more of the bigger names on Raw, and you honestly had more of the wrestling guys on SmackDown.
Yep.
Angle, Guerrero, Mysterio, Edge. Who else am I missing from that time?
RVD was on SmackDown at this point.
Fit Finlay, my boy Fit Finlay was on there. I mean, he's tried and true. So there's a lot of wrestlers. Oh, Chavo, another wrestler.
You get a Fit Finlay appearance in the Judgment Day match.
That's right. That's right. You do. But no. Yeah, this is where SmackDown kind of, this is where Michael Cole becomes how he can be the person today. This is the origin story, not the backstage crap. This, where he really took off with Taz as a commentary team. I loved these two. These two as a commentary team do not get enough respect. I don't think Michael Cole gets enough respect. as a wrestling announcer. But Cole and Taz, they treated SmackDown like a party because they were having fun. And
it's my favorite all-time commentator duo.
And they're overly face. They're both rooting against the heels. Like, it worked for that time. It worked for that group. Everything meshed well. And Michael Cole and Taz, that's what I think about when I think about SmackDown being the wrestling show. And those guys kind of taking it personal and taking jabs at Raw, but being, working it into their banter. It was smooth. And I love these two. I love these two. I would love for these two to someday work together again. I think it'd be great.
Taz has some really good. Taz is a one-liner king. He does some really cool cheeky heel moments too. Like when JBL's coming to the ring during the Judgment Day match, he yells. He's like, "Yeah, well, there you go, JBL." Then he goes like, "Only his friends call him JBL." It was just like, Taz is hilarious.
All right, so that was good. That was good.
Let's talk about this match build. So, Kurt Angle is the general manager of SmackDown. His neck got broke. This is how they wrote him off television. They gave him the general manager spot after Paul Heyman got fired. So he comes up with this idea. He's going to hand out the Kurt Angle Great American Award. And, oh, baby, but ladies and gentlemen, fasten those seatbelts. The first promo against each other, JBL comes out. Eddie's in the ring with Angle. Angle announces the award. He's got this trophy. JBL comes out with the limo. I can't remember if this is the debut of the limo. But he comes out at the limo. It's got the big old horns on it. He's up in the sunroof doing a gimmick. Talking about stuff. Hat in hand and everything. Eddie comes down the ramp to grab the hat from him. He's in the ring and he has fans like dump stuff in the hat. It's hilarious. Good old bathroom humor. Here we go. Okay, the next week. Oh, remember how you said the $1 Million Man, and then I said hold that thought because JBL does a $1 Million Man gimmick. He pulls someone from the stage. He does a thing. He's like, he does a whole gimmick talking about how much money he has, and he's like, $1,000 to me. He even does I'm from Sweetwater, Texas, and I instantly thought of you, Nick. I want you to know that. He's like, $1,000 to me. That's front pocket money. And he pulls someone from the stands like, if you can wax my hood of my limousine in less than 30 seconds, I'll give you $1,000. And he pulls this cat from the stands who's doing it. And while he's waxing it, he like dumps the wax on the limousine. He's like, oh man, I'm so sorry. So he does the $1 Million Man gimmick there. And I thought that was hilarious. So the end of one of the SmackDown episodes, again, folks, if you have not, buckle your seatbelts, put your hands inside the vehicle because we are about to go on a ride. Kurt Angle is in the ring. He's about to hand out the Kurt Angle Great American Award, or the KAGGA, as I enunciated it. The Kurt Angle Great American Award. CZ, do you like that?
Yeah, that's
KAGGA,
good.
baby. The Kurt Angle Great American Award. Okay, so he's out there. He's going to decide. I can't remember. It's John Cena. I think Charlie Haas, some other jamokes, and JBL's out there. He was the 5th person to be nominated for it. And right before they're about to do it, JBL grabs the mic from Kurt Angle, and he says, "Kurt, hold on. I really want this award, and I want to show you what it's like to be a great American." And ladies and gentlemen, we get one of the most interesting, I think is the word I'm going to use, interesting segments in not just wrestling history, but the history of television, as we get not live, but on location, John Bradshaw Layfield at the border, chasing illegals back across the border. He's like, I'm out here in Texas because these people, they want to come and steal and take my money. and they don't want to live the right American way. And then all of a sudden he's like, "You people right there!" He's flashing a flashlight out, like, "You get back! You going back across to Mexico!" It's so unhinged. Like, it is a room full of sliding glass doors. That is how unhinged this segment is. As we get JBL awarded the Kurt Angle Great American Award, CZ, because he chased illegals back across the border. Wrestling!
And there's only one wrestler that could pull it off.
Oh, absolutely. I can't see anyone else pulling that off and making it successful.
Unbelievable stuff. I remember watching this the other night this is incredible. So winning the Kurt Angle Great American Award, or the KAGGA, as I stated earlier, it gives him the number one contender. By the way, the funny part, when the trophy gets unveiled, it's originally a really nice trophy. It's got a bald eagle at the top of it. But when the trophy's unveiled for JBL in the ring, it's like a picture of it. It's a picture frame with Eddie Guerrero on it, and it's just cheaply put together. It's very funny. So in the build-up to the match at Judgment Day, JBL is literally running like political ads that you would see during election season during SmackDowns. Like, "I'm JBL, here to give you a greater America." He's got like pictures of Eddie, like they cut to Eddie Guerrero, like getting his mugshot. It's like people paid for by the people who promote JBL or something like that. And then that's how we get to the Judgment Day match. Outside of that, there wasn't really anything crazy in the build-up to the Great American Bash match, other than they both hated each other. So yeah, that is the build-up to Judgment Day. And wrestling in 2004, ladies and gentlemen.
You expressed earlier, Joe, that this storyline only really had 2 months to get going, right? Well, that's how you spice it up and get a storyline going.
Yes.
These two worked well together. I would go on to, Eddie probably told him to say that stuff in that video. "Get back over there to Mexico." Come on. Saying crap like that. Oh my God. But only JBL. Only JBL. This couldn't be done today. People would have an absolute shit fit. And that's why it's 21 years ago, and knowing the parties involved, it's hilarious. I don't care. It's wrestling, and these guys made it work.
I agree, CZ. I'm sorry, but it's so funny.
No, you're right. It's fantastic. Brilliant work by JBL. Like Nick said, I'm sure Eddie is feeding him lines. This would be funny. This would be funny. You should do this. Got to be, because they're just so off the wall. Some of the things that he does.
It's bananas. And like I said, the fact that they had 2 months to really get this match built up, it was a good thing because of all the heat that JBL had by the time we get to Judgment Day.
Yes.
They're in LA. The crowd's it's all for Eddie, which of course it is, and they want to see JBL die. Which let's get to it. Judgment Day. Obviously, since we're talking 2 matches here, not going to go as in depth as we did for the Cody Roman match. Plus, these matches aren't as long or as melodramatic. The Judgment Day match, to put it simple, is basically just a brawl. There's right from the jump, Eddie is just beating JBL up from pillar to post. He's throwing them all around the ring. The first match swing is JBL counters someone outside. He throws Eddie into the steps. Eddie has a comeback that gets stopped when JBL hits him with a fallaway slam outside the ring, and then he does a backdrop to Eddie onto the announce table. And the announce table does not break on the at Judgment
No,
Day.
Eddie bounces. Bounces off the table
like a basketball.
Yes. It did not break.
Back in the ring, they're kind of doing a little back and forth dance, and then all of a sudden we get a hilarious ref bump. literally while JBL, it was like while Eddie was going off the ropes, and the referee just perfectly positioned himself right behind, like whoopsie daisy, Brian Hebner, ladies and gentlemen, an all-timer. We go outside, and then all of a sudden, we get the moment. We get the chair shot.
Kabong!
We get blood.
Hey. CTE PSA number 1. That first chair shot.
Yeah.
Big time.
You don't see that anymore. My God.
Unprotected.
The crack of it.
Uh-huh.
To me.
And
go ahead.
No, you're good. And Eddie Guerrero blades. Have you guys seen the SmackDown after Judgment Day to see his stitches?
No.
I forgot how big this cut was. This cut's like from here to here on his forehead, stitched up. He blades so deep and so hard that he nicks an artery. And this dude, ladies and gentlemen, is a legitimate fruit gusher for the remainder of the match at Judgment Day.
Oh God,
it is barbaric.
The ring looked like a Jackson Pollock painting. I'm just throwing that out there.
I mean, the Eddie Guerrero made John Moxley look like a little teenager that cuts themselves because of their teenage angst. Moxley doesn't hold a flame to how these guys bled in this feud.
This is by far the nastiest blade job I've ever seen. Right, CZ? Like, can you think of any? Like, dude, anytime Eddie is leaning over, just for a moment, he gets up and it's just literally a gigantic wet spot. It's squirting out of his head.
It's a waterfall of blood.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And that's one of the reasons this match stood out to me. I hate to say it, but because of the massive amount of blood that was splattered all throughout the ring and throughout both of these matches, it leaves an impression in your head. And honestly, nowadays it was kind of hard to watch, knowing what we know, especially that chair shot. Good Lord.
God. The sound of it, man. My heaven, it's crazy. So they get back so Eddie gets it with the steps. JBL hits the clothesline from hell. Brian Hebner's just still dead in the ring. Just a king. A true king. Master of his craft. Lil Nate runs in, kick out. Second ref bump. Lil Nate gets taken out.
Charles Robinson has to have the best cardio of any ref in the business ever. Am I wrong?
He do be moving. I don't see any other ref doing the run-ins like he does. No. That man gets after it. Where are we at here? So, oh my God. After the second ref bump, there's a moment. JBL power bombs Eddie. Apparently, it's so hard right next to Brian Hebner that it wakes him up. Eddie hit the ground. Hebner goes, oh!
I mean, that would wake you up. I mean, it would wake me up.
Is that like did it wake you? Is it similar to how Macho Man woke up Hogan with an elbow drop years before this?
Oh, shit.
Can you compare those two?
That's Rolodex legend right there. Hebner gets up. 1, 2, kick out. Crowd goes crazy. Eddie rallies. And Eddie is literally like every time his heart beats. I mean, he is just out here giving baths to people.
Dude, it's coagulating before it hits the mat.
Oh, yes.
God. I'm going to be honest. Like, I honestly almost couldn't stomach this whole match.
You have to double take.
We're used to so much. We're used to the blading has gone down so much. You want to talk about house shows being non-existent anymore? The blade jobs, at least on the WWE side, are considerably down. The other guys, they're bleeding all the time, which doesn't make it that important. But I guess maybe I haven't seen that much blood in a long time in a match. I don't know if this is the biggest one or not. We'll have to do some research and comment on it on the next Wrestlebacks or whatever. But this is it. It's almost sickening and gross to an extent.
It's crazy. Also, too, you got to think, like, at what point is it hard for them to, like, keep their footing in the ring because of how much blood is on the mat?
At what point do they not pass out? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Their heart's beating, boom, 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 right? Because they're
Right.
active. And I don't know how Eddie didn't pass out.
I don't
And
know.
Right.
either.
when he went up into the mat, onto the ropes later in the match, and I'm talking about post-match, after, of course, this match ends in a DQ. It's post-match when he is beating up JBL, and he went up to do the frog splash. I'm like, oh no, don't do this, because all I could think about was, he could face plant because he doesn't have that much blood,
And he attempted to, because I was just about to say he missed one of them.
Yes.
Here during the match still, and then he hits one during the little post-fight brawl. So yeah, he hits the frog splash, or he missed the frog splash. JBL rolls out, grabs the chair, grabs the belt, throws the chair, misses with the belt shot. Eddie hoofs him in the dick.
JBL for being a sneaky little bastard, throwing the chair in the ring and getting Brian Hebner to throw it out while he's holding the belt behind
his back. Oh my God, it's so awesome. It's so bad. It's awesome.
That is very Eddie-like, when Eddie would have the chair and throw it at someone and lay down. That I felt Eddie Guerrero vibes with that move from JBL. I'm not gonna lie.
It was good. So yeah, Eddie hoofs him in the nuts, hits him with the belt, disqualification, match is thrown out. There's a huge brawl. Eddie then pays some respects back to old Johnny B by hitting him with a couple stiff chair shots. JBL gets busted open. Eddie does hit the frog splash, and fade to black. We mentioned there was a pull apart, so JBL's going up the ramp. Eddie runs after him. We have a multitude of that guys because, there's Fit Finley. Is that Dean Malenko?
That is Dean Malenko. Yes, it is.
And there was a couple.
Not only is he the man of 1,000 holds, he's the man of 1,000 breakups.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, my hand got stuck like this because, oh my God, it was Arn Anderson.
Yep.
So yeah, just a parade of that guys just running out to break up this.
Cavalcade of great workers.
Of course, absolutely. And here's the thing: I will say this: if I was Finley, I'd be pissed having to break that up because he was the only one of those three who were all dressed up nice that ran out from Gorilla that actually
got blood on himself.
Exactly. I'd be pissed off. Like, what are you doing? So yeah.
Oh geez.
Quick notes from both of you guys on the Judgment Day match before we go through the Great American Bash match and then get into categories.
Outside of the blood, I mean, it was necessary because it had reached this level. But my God, don't cut yourself so deep, Eddie. My goodness.
Oh man,
that was a lot of blood. But ultimately, it served its purpose, and this match gets us. And give these guys some credit. Great American Bash. The next time they face off on a big stage, it's not the following month. This is a month after, and this thing is still pretty hot. So, the Judgment Day match sets up the blow off at Great American Bash. I had no problems with it. I thought it was done really well. JBL, for the most part, after Eddie had the early hand, JBL just laid it in on Eddie. Eddie was bleeding. And then after the DQ, Eddie got his comeuppance. So they needed to do it again. So, I enjoyed watching this match. It had been a while since I've seen it, but I enjoyed it. Anytime you get to hear JBL's music, I love it, man.
What did you all think of the blue JBL tights?
I mean, he's usually like a black or a red tight guy, right?
Yeah.
This was one of the few times that he busted out colored tights.
Usually it's black.
Uh-huh.
Usually it's black.
I don't know why that was, but I didn't have a problem with it.
I didn't either. And I thought this match was very well put together. I enjoyed it. Like Nick said, aside from the blood, but it did get to that boiling point where it was necessary.
Let me just, aside from the amount of blood, I'll put it that way.
Yeah,
The amount of blood.
that's what I mean. No, aside from the amount of blood, yeah, it was fun. It was fun to watch. It was well put together, and I'm glad we got to relive it. And I'm glad we got to relive the Great American Bash. And before you go down that road, Joe, I just want to remind everybody this is Wrestlebacks, part of the Card Subject to Change family on 4 Frequency Sake Podcast Network, powered by Ice Pizza and built by Durham Remodeling. Pause for the cause there. Sorry, gentlemen. Go ahead, Joe.
Station identification. We're good. So the Great American Bash. So the build up, it's a Texas bull rope match. JBL gets to pick a stipulation, woodoo woodoo, all that good stuff. In the build, the only crazy thing that happened was there was a moment. So Eddie, they were talking about how Eddie went to the hospital, which I think is legit. He like passed out when he got to the back, and he had to go to the hospital. After the Judgment Day match. They were doing that on the SmackDown after. He had to go to the hospital. He got JBL got staples in his head. Eddie had the big stitches on his gash on his forehead. The main event of the first SmackDown after Judgment Day was a 6-man tag. It was JBL and the Dudley Boys versus Eddie Guerrero, RVD, and Rey Mysterio. Eddie Guerrero got jumped by JBL in the back. Eddie joins the match late, and during the match, he has like what I guess is a stroke, or he faints or passes out. That was a big story, and that was like a big part of the build because of all the blood he lost and whatnot. So that was a bit weird, but regardless, everything is good. We get to the bull rope match. It was the red light, green light special. It is the first to touch 4 corners wins, which I have some takes on that as we get into categories. But regardless, as far as this match goes, it's a back and forth.
Those lights were so cheesy, and I loved it.
Okay, yeah. There are some spots here that I do like, even though I wish it was a bit different. It's back and forth early. The match spills outside. JBL early gets a big heat moment where he's got Eddie tied up in the old tree of woe. He rolls outside, and he's like choking Eddie from underneath while outside in the corner. Eddie has a big comeback outside, and then we get a callback to the Judgment Day chair shot, but in reverse. Eddie is at the table. JBL's walking to him. Eddie comes out from underneath and bam, whacks him. Not nearly as much blood, and only one guy bleeds in this match. I think they probably told Eddie, "Hey, just hold off for this one.
Right.
We do not need you to cut your blade again." But JBL, he wears it. He gets a pasty. He gets some red stuff in this match. So, let's see here. I got you, Nick. There you go. Okay. So, let me see. I'll have that up to see him. All right. So, during this, let's see. We've got, where was I at? Okay. The first near fall, I'd say pseudo near fall in this match, because it's not really near fall. You get Eddie after the chair shot. He gets to the 3 turnbuckles, going for the 4th. And you've got JBL like holding onto the ropes, holding the rope, so he can't touch the 4th turnbuckle.
Right.
Back and forth we go. There's a frog splash. Eddie has another moment where he gets to 3, but JBL holds on. There's a real cool spot where they are back and forth. JBL has Eddie on the top rope. He like wraps the rope around his neck and he like throws him off the rope and like onto the table. I tried to bring him back on. Is he back, or is my stuff just not working here?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. My bad. Dumb moment. Let's see here. So after that, then he power bombs him through the table to actually make it break. They have a real good back and forth where pretty much after this, it is the go home segment, pretty much where Eddie hits at some point in this. Eddie hit a frog splash. They're going back and forth. JBL got the 3 lights. Eddie holds the rope. JBL is hilarious as he's selling, like not being able to get there, which is it's like you're huge. You could probably drag him, but he's like kicking and screaming, like throwing a tantrum while Eddie's again 3 light moment. Eddie then pokes him in the nuts with the cowbell, and then we get to go home where it's back and forth. They each have 3 lights. Eddie goes and jumps into the corner. Everyone thinks Eddie wins. After further review, we hit the old football replay review. Kurt Angle comes out. It shows JBL hit the turnbuckle first. John Bradshaw Layfield is the WWE champion. Crowd boos.
The big bully chicken shit heel wins in the most chicken shit way possible in his own match. Can't beat this.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great. I love the lights. They were so awful. They were great. They were awful, and I loved them. I loved them. This is huge. This is big, and here's why. Eddie doesn't look like a fool in losing. Eddie has... I'll always argue the guy, like Eddie is a guy, and I'm not comparing wrestling abilities at all here, but look at Swerve Strickland in AEW. If Swerve Strickland never wins a title again, he's still going to have the fans behind him. Like, I think Eddie's life, was shortened, but I think this was the intent the whole time. He was just going to be a one-time champ. And do you look at JBL as a transitional champion? I don't, because he had a long title run. But look who I just spoiled it. Look who JBL drops it to. Cena. Like, look at the bridge between Guerrero and Cena. That was JBL. And, in a million years, would you ever have thought that at that time? You know what I mean? So, when I had a chance to meet JBL up in Waterloo, was that last year or was that 2 years ago, CZ? You were there with me.
It was last year, I believe. Because
I told him.
Was it the year that Jerry had to go to the hospital?
No. The year after.
Okay, then.
It was last year.
Last year, yes.
Last year. So last year,
I had to think how many times I've been with you to Waterloo, and this.
I know. We got to get Joe up there to Waterloo, man. He would have a freaking trip, man. It's
agreed.
It's the best. Anyways, regardless, I told JBL, I said, dude, I think you're the one of the most underappreciated heels of all time. He was kind of MJF-ish 21 years earlier, telling the illegals to get back across the border, get out of my country, go back to Mexico. That was 21 years ago. And he was like, I think he's a heel that should be looked to and revered in the fact that, like, dude, him and Eddie went out there and Eddie wasn't going to do some of that stuff unless he knew you were good. You were safe. And that tells me a lot about JBL. JBL is the one-time champ, right? He didn't need to have it twice either. He had his reign. I know he had some U.S. title reigns as well, but I just think these guys were perfect dance partners in the fact with the storyline just took off. But these guys, these guys could go. And I think JBL, comes out of this feud as a serious, you got to take him serious. He just beat Eddie Guerrero, right? So, in the most chicken shit way possible. So I don't know. I at the time I hated it, but as I look back on it, I really think he is one of the most underappreciated heels that we've had.
Go ahead, CZ.
No, for sure. His work outside the ring, especially his mic work, is excellent. The way he presents himself. You mentioned his rivalry with Cena to come. What did he call? He had Orlando Jordan and a couple of other people. What was his?
The cabinet.
The cabinet.
Orlando Jordan, Doug, and Danny Basham.
Yes.
Yeah, the Bashams were the secretary.
And who was Alicia Webb?
I think that's who it was, yeah.
Was it? Or was it
Look it up. Look it up. Look it up.
You had the chief of staff, Orlando Jordan. You had the secretaries of defense and the Basham brothers.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Shout out Orlando Jordan. You're right though. Like the fact that he won it in his way in his match, in the like he had the perfect combination of being the huge dude, but also pulling off the chicken shit heel. Like, but that was fine. He was exactly what they needed at that time.
And that smug ass face and his pompous, the way he handled himself. Like, God, he was really good. He was good.
I agree. Let's go into some categories, shall we? We've got a lot to get to, and we've got some fun stuff to get to. Let's start with most rewatchable segment. I think everything from the in the Judgment Day match, I pretty much have everything that starts at the ref bump, like from the chair shot onwards, where it's just carnage. It's barbaric. It might make you wheezy, but you want to go watch it. You want to be a part of it.
Well,
you can't stop paying attention.
You got to see where all that blood came from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I could agree with that. I really could. I could agree with that. That was kind of the end of Act 1, if you want to be honest, there, Joe, because Eddie had his hot start. And then JBL got him over there outside the ring, smash him on the head. Act 2 begins. And then that's the blood act. And that's where we see all the blood come from. So, yeah, I think I got to agree with you there. That's probably what I would say, too.
And sidebar, you had me look up. The cabinet consisted of Orlando Jordan, Amy Weber, who was the image consultant, the Basham brothers.
Close.
And the Basham brothers were the co-secretaries of defense, and later added was the publicist / fixer, and this is where my memory went, Jillian Hall.
Yeah, with the fucking...
She was a late ad, yes. I said Alicia Webb, and it was Amy Webb.
Amy Webb. You were close. You were very close. Sidebar on Jillian Hall. I always think of her with the thing on her face that Boogeyman ate at one point.
The mole.
The oversized mole.
That wasn't a mole. That was like a
Danish.
That was like a
Danish.
That was like a snail. That was the Danish. That was like a snail shell.
Oh, come on. Oh.
The Danish. There's your quote for the episode. Jillian Hall had a Danish on her face.
There you go.
It had some substance to it.
There you go.
Great. You were asking what age the best, right?
We are in the most rewatchable segment right now.
Most rewatchable. I'm sorry. I gotta skip ahead.
I have the Great American Bash. I was going to mention. So I don't like the red light, green light spectacle. However, I thought they did a really good job in the finale, in the home stretch of like the tension, and I thought the final sequence was very creative.
Okay. Yeah.
Even though I wish it was just a straight up one fall to a finish type match, I will give them a ton of credit that they were very creative in the finish with the red light, green light special for the bull rope match.
And with JBL winning, he proves that he is the greatest American at the Great American Bash.
The Great American Bash.
Right. I mean, come on. I mean, this shit just writes itself.
I mean, CZ, who else to don the first ever CAG?
Right. No, for sure.
I mean, he's the most American. He's American as all get out. Any other rewatchable segments from either match?
For me, it was in the first match of Judgment Day. This gets me every time. Eddie Guerrero, covered in blood, gets up, starts his comeback, and does his little Eddie shimmy. And then everything thereafter, where he's just covered in blood and he's making his comeback. That was a lot of fun for me.
That was some good stuff.
I'll tell you my most rewatchable segment, and I dig this whenever I have to go back and watch a match or I'm watching something. I love the lead up videos. I love the lead up stuff, like how we got here and all the. It's kind of like the 3.5 minute Cliff Notes version of why we're here and how we got here. And that to me, like I dig that stuff, man. Like I almost dig that more than the match itself, just because I love seeing all that crap edited together and how they produced it and stuff. But regardless, that to me, I could always fall back and say that.
I'll give you that point, Nick, but I think it depends on the match and the way the
God, yes. God, yes, for sure.
I mean, WrestleMania 17, my way, is the greatest hype video there ever was, hands down.
Yeah, it is. But I think we'll get something someday. We will.
It's a good. Yeah, those are all great stuff. So my favorite moment was the ending of the bull rope match, the final sequence. But I agree with both of you guys and what you're saying. I skipped ahead for a category because I wanted to get this one out of the way. And I just thought it would fit in before we got to what age the best, what age the worst, and we got deeper into it. I wanted to nail some of these now. It's a new category. It is the We're Gonna Build a Great Wall award for most unintentionally intentional JBL racist moment during the feud. Boy, oh boy, is the list long.
Oh, I can't wait to hear your list.
And the nominees are.
Yeah, the nominees are, during the first promo, quote, this is JBL in the ring. The only thing I sold was stock about 2 weeks ago before terrorists scared the market and I made a hell of a lot of money. Apparently there was some sort of moment overseas. I don't know. They were talking about it on the SmackDowns that I saw cut up for this feud. But yeah, that was something. Next. JBL is in the backstage area. He's with his limo driver, who is apparently foreign. And he says, "Where in the hell did you learn to drive? Tijuana?" Names another Mexican city that I have no idea what it is. The driver speaks Spanish back to him. And then he says, "This is America. Let me give you advice. Learn the language. You don't speak Mexican. You don't speak Spanish. You don't speak Spanglish. There are tons of opportunities here." And then Taz right after that, without any hesitation, is, "That's good advice."
That's good advice.
Oh, you don't speak Spanglish? Oh, man. Next. I got two more. Him and Eddie are in a promo. It's the first promo they have. He's in the limousine. He's like, "Eddie, I see the bass in your eyeballs. I see how hot-headed you are. I guess that goes with, your kind of people." I'm like, what the fuck?
There's your winner. There's your winner.
Firing gas. And then lastly, oh my God, just subtle in one of his standalone promos in the ring. He says, "My people came to this country on a boat, not an inner tube." Oh my God. Oh,
that
okay.
I think the fourth one's the best one. That's pretty.
I'd just like to remind our listeners and viewers the views of JBL in 2004 do not reflect the For Frequency's Sake Podcast Network's views on anyone. Sorry.
Yeah. We didn't say these. Someone else did.
I hope people realize we didn't say those.
Yeah. This was all JBL. Again, this is the We're Gonna Build a Great Wall award for the most unintentionally intentional JBL race moment during the feud. Obviously, the biggest one we can throw in here is JBL at the border, sending people back. I just wanted to get the quotes down in this section.
No, that's great. No, I'm glad you said them. Those were great.
CZ, I'm assuming you had some stuff.
So this was not something JBL said, but it was implied by Michael Cole, is how John Bradshaw Layfield is going to win this match for John Bradshaw Layfield's America.
Yeah.
That one stood out. He calls Eddie a criminal at one point. And just question, do you even know what a bull rope match is?
You know what a bull rope match is? Oh, man. Unbelievable. What a time to be alive. The fourth one is pretty wild. My people came to this country on a boat, not an inner tube.
Oh my.
Oh my God, John Bradshaw Layfield, ladies and gentlemen. All right, back to the top. What age the best? CZ, what do you got?
For me, this is easy. Eddie's moves, Eddie's mannerisms, because look at wrestling today and how many people pay tribute to Eddie Guerrero with the frog splash, the three amigos, the little shimmy. So that to me is what aged the best because it's still around. Eddie is still around vicariously through a lot of wrestlers in today's world.
That's a great point. I agree with what you said. I think that, yeah, and not just in his son Dom, of course, obviously,
Right.
but just in general, and the general wrestling public. I think Eddie does a lot. And again, man, it's crazy that this is October. I mean, we're literally almost 20 years to the month, to the day soon, right? Pretty wild.
20 years or 21? No, 20 years. Yeah. It is 20 years. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I had another couple things. So I like how, like, Chavo, I was scrolling on some interviews. Chavo said that Eddie called the entire Judgment Day match in the ring. He said, like, he wanted to feel it. He wanted he wanted to go off the crowd vibes. So Eddie calling the entire Judgment Day match in ring, pretty impressive. And also too, like, you got to think this is JBL's first like big match in a singles capacity.
Yeah.
So having Eddie Guerrero be able to walk you through that, pretty good, pretty nice.
And usually the heel would be calling the match in that case. But they made the right choice there and let Eddie do it. And obviously it turned out to be a pretty damn good match. So
yes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
A couple more. What age the best for me? I just mentioned how every promo JBL cuts, he sounds like a politician. He sounds like he's on the debate stage. What age the best? Cole and Taz as a duo. We mentioned that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Outside of the impact that Eddie still has today, I think, yeah. I mean, that this is right in the wheelhouse of Cole and Taz. So I think so. I think you could put that under that category for sure.
And then the last thing that I have here is that the ability to get all natural heel heat. Like, to be able to, as a heel, have the entire world hate you, I don't think is something that's cherished enough these days. There's people that can still do it, but there's too many moments where even the heel, people want to sing your theme song, or they want to think you're cool.
Was JBL the last real heel we had?
No, because I still think there's some out there these days that could still get booed to shit, but like JBL is in that category that's very rare to see nowadays.
Yes.
For sure.
Any other what's age the best?
You mentioned JBL coming off like a politician, and it brought to mind Bob Backlund during his politician days. Can see parallels there for sure, and I'm sure JBL probably drew a lot of what he did from Backlund back in his time doing the politician shtick.
That's a fair point. The stuff he did, man. Listen, very, very interesting. You could not pull that character off, which is the first thing I have in what's age the worst. You can't pull this feud off in 2025, folks. You just can't. You have too many people that would get mad.
You can't.
You just can't do it. You cannot go to the extremes that these guys went to in 2025. You can't do it.
I got one for what age the worst.
Go for it.
The freaking unprotected headshots.
Top of my list.
Yep,
holy smokes! Like, the Eddie one and the first one in Judgment Day when he cuts himself, but there are several others throughout, and it's like, oh my, like that to me was like the most jarring thing. Maybe outside of the blood is right there, like the unprotected headshots. Yeah, those don't age very well.
Not at all.
That is though the unprotected headshots is fascinating stuff. Like just the fact that good thing we don't have those anymore. The word's that bad. What's age the worst? Brian Hebner ref bumps. Anytime I watch a match and he is ref bumping, he is a flip flopping and flying, folks. He sells though. He is an all timer for selling. And what age the worst? Ending pay per views with DQ finishes. Why'd we ever do this? I understand. You can make the argument that for the Judgment Day match, it worked out. However, I just think nowadays we don't have that anymore, and thank God.
Yeah. You could get away with it then, but I don't think that crap would fly now.
Because you don't have people going, you could get away with it then because you don't have a bunch of podcasts talking about how, oh my God, we just spent $50.
And social media was not near what it is today.
For the end of the show to end in a dusty finish.
That's probably the biggest difference between then and now.
I mentioned the four corners touching age the worst. It did do it, but again, the ending of the match was really good. The four corners to be the touch is very convoluted. Okay, this is a harsh one. What age the worst? So JBL does a very fiery promo on an episode of SmackDown. And I don't know if this is why he's all fired up, but it's right after he gets fired from CNBC. And if you do some research as to why JBL got fired from CNBC in 2004, it's because they're on a house show in Germany. And he basically does the fucking the you know what symbol during a match.
No,
and he's strutting.
He does the goose step, the Nazi Germany goose step. Yep.
Yeah.
Do you know who got fired for that?
Who?
Fit Finlay.
Wow. So JBL did not get fired from WWE, obviously, but he got fired from CNBC, and he cuts a crazy promo a couple weeks before Great American Bash, and he talks about that, and he's off the rails. But yeah, so that did not age the best. I have two other things that are not tied to this match in general. It's just about wrestling at the time. What age the worst? The Great American Bash. Can you guys name the main event of this pay-per-view? Because it was a single rope match.
Yes. The Concrete Crypt match. The Dudley Boys with Paul Heyman versus The Undertaker. The last appearance of one Paul Bearer.
And Nick, the craziest part about all these is building up to the match. You just watch. It's like The Undertaker will be forced to do the right thing. What the fuck's the right thing, Michael Cole?
Yeah, what is it? What is it?
I literally thought during that, I'm like, I'm about to call an audible. We're about to do this match next after this because I wanted.
I'll be honest with you.
We have to deep dive this.
After this match, I could give two shits less who ends up in concrete. Like,
yes.
I don't care.
In fairness, though. A tip of the cap again. This aged the worst, but a tip of the cap to have the foresight to realize, okay, guys, we can't have this match be in the middle of the show. We can't kill Paul Bearer in the middle of the show and then after that be like, coming up next, Tori Wilson and Sable. No, that match has to be at the end. The fade to black moment has to be Paul Bearer's death. Rest in peace, Paul Bearer.
Nick, I have it on good authority that when we part ways, you're going to be the one in the Concrete Crypt, and it's going to be a match with Card Subject to Change versus the Confusion podcast, and I have to do the right thing to save you.
You have to do the right thing in what?
To save you.
Okay.
That way you don't get buried in the concrete.
Who's going to be the one holding the lever?
You guys are laughing about this, but I'm looking up and I have Great American Bash on, and they're showing when Heyman comes out with the urn.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, man. I don't know if y'all have ever actually watched that match, but it is something else. Like
I have.
There's a moment where Undertaker's getting his thing on, and then Paul Heyman just stops him. You stop right there, and he pulls the lever down, and the concrete's filling the crypt. And it's a promo in the middle of a handicap match. It's such a listen. Maybe one day, maybe episode 10, we do the concrete crypt match. Because listen, we're gonna come back and do good matches. We have to do bad matches. We have to do a one for everybody moment. And that might be one of them because I'm fascinated to just dive into that more and more. But
maybe
yeah, that was the main event.
Maybe the Chamber of Horrors match from '91 Halloween Havoc.
Oh Lord!
I thought you were going to say the December to December.
No,
somebody got electrocuted.
Done that on
somebody got electrocuted on live pay-per-view, dude.
Yes.
Oh, in the Chamber of Horrors. Wait, wasn't that like the tiered?
It was a giant cage. It was like a big cage.
It's kind of Hell in the Cell size, but like attached to the ring.
Yeah.
Height wise, it was as tall as like the cell, but it was attached to the ring posts and the apron. But no, Joe, if you make me watch anything on December to Dismember after we've reviewed it a year ago,
no,
we're done. I will disown you.
We're not watching that ever again. That was brutal.
That was terrible. Which, by the way, you can find in our archives on YouTube. Just search Card Subject to Change podcast, and all our shows are there.
There you go. See, we can go watch now.
Cheap plug.
Last thing for me from What's Age the Worst. SmackDown mid-card in 2004. It is being here are some names. Mordecai.
Yes.
Did not last long after this. Kenzo Suzuki.
Mordecai came back. Mordecai had another gimmick.
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't Mordecai Kevin Thorne?
Yes.
Okay. Look at the big brain on me. And then Kenzo Suzuki. Yeah, he's there. He has his he's carried in. Him and Rene Dupree eventually won the tag team titles, the French-Japanese connection. Speaking of Rene Dupree, and Taz, great Taz moments. Have you ever watched a Rene Dupree match with Taz on commentary? And you know how Rene Dupree did his little dance?
Yep.
Called the French Tickler?
Yep.
And Taz, just being the GOAT. Anytime Rene did the dance, Taz would go into, look at me, I'm a Frenchman, I'm a French tickler guy, while he's doing the dance. So, yes, I just wanted to bring that up. Anywho, shout out to 2004 Taz. Any other What's Age the Worst?
Not that I can think of.
Nothing I can think of either, no.
Okay. Greatest What If sliding doors moment. Nick, you mentioned what if Eddie was still with us. Listen, you're right. Like, there's so many matches that he never got. He was maybe on the verge of getting another world title actually winning the world title in 2005. There was a rumor that we were going to get Eddie versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 22. So that's just the selfish wrestling fan portion, but obviously the family, all of that stuff. I mean, it's so sad what happened.
That's all I have on my list. What would the wrestling world look like today if Eddie were still with us?
I had one that was, outside of that. I had let's see here. Sorry, I lost my thing went crazy. Here we go. I said, what is the SmackDown heel like? What happens if the heels in SmackDown don't all vanish? Like if Brock doesn't leave, if Kurt Angle doesn't get hurt, who does Eddie actually drop the belt to? Because does the Bradshaw gimmick ever happen? Does it start off as a mid-carder? Does JBL get rocketed to the main event right away? That's just.
I don't know if the JBL thing happens. Maybe the JBL thing happens, but not to this magnitude. I don't know if we get a world champion, a world title reign out of him.
I don't think it has as much legs without the other heels being gone and JBL getting that rocket strapped to his legs.
Yeah, the door opened perfectly. This was a absolute right time, right moment situation with the right guy in JBL and also the right guy in Eddie Guerrero who was willing to build up this new star.
Yeah.
And to Eddie's credit, he did everything he could. And you can say what you want about the JBL character, but he filled an absolute void that they had in that calendar year.
Yes.
He was perfect for what they needed. Robert Gibson Award for the best heat check. The only thing I really have on this is anytime you got an Eddie Guerrero like comeback spot in the match, like he was so over, man. And you hear the crowds going crazy. Anytime Eddie would have a comeback, I thought was really cool. That was my heat check moment. Do you guys have any other good stuff for that, or no? Probably not.
I took this
I've
the other
got a
way.
hot take. Does it follow underneath here or somewhere else?
Oh, the hot take one will be. I think that's the next category.
Yep, I got you on my notes here. I'm with you here.
I mean, I took it a different way. You want heat, JBL causing Mama Guerrero's heart attack.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a different. Yeah, I like that different heat check. I like that. Good, attaboy. All right, here we go. I've been holding them back because I don't really have anything for this. I couldn't think of anything. So we are going to pass the buck, at least to start. I don't know if you got anything, CZ, but we're going to start with Nick Bull. Hottest retroactive take. Take it away.
There is no doubt that Eddie Guerrero has a lasting impression on professional wrestling. But I'm just gonna get this out there. If so many people gave a shit about Eddie Guerrero, then why didn't anybody step up and stop him from being roided to the fucking gills? It's right before us in these matches. Come on, dude, that guy is way too big for his frame, and nobody thought to say anything. Hey, man, why don't you lay off of him? Come on, everybody knows you're taking him. And it's like bittersweet to me to watch him wrestle these matches, know he's going to be gone a year and a half later, when it probably could have been prevented. He could still be here with us. But, like, come on. Everybody, look at him, dude. He's roided to the gills. Look at 97. It's like Barry Bonds before and after, okay? As a baseball reference. Look at Barry Bonds before he started juicing. Look at Barry Bonds after. It's the same thing here. And I love him. I love his matches. I don't care if these guys are on steroids, but I do care to the fact when it's, like, obvious. And he also had drug and alcohol struggles. Mix the three, and what do you get? You get an early death via heart failure.
Yeah.
So watching this Eddie stuff, I love his matches. The 97 Halloween Havoc one with Ray is amazing. But I can't get past the fact, like, nobody could have freaking pulled him aside and said, look, everybody wants to talk about redacted and stopping that. And no one, few people and Eddie and redacted were best friends or whatever. But nobody could pull him aside and say, look, man, you got to get off the juice.
And he doesn't look. I don't think he looks bad in these matches, but by the time mid 2005, like a year later, he's puffy.
I'm going to look right now. I want to see what Eddie's build height was, okay, and his build weight. And what do you guys think? Because what do you think he's weighing here? I don't know what he's announced as when he's fighting JBL. What do you think he weighs?
That's tough.
Because Eddie's not tall.
No.
Eddie's probably like 5'9", 5'10".
In wrestling boots. Dude, I've stood next to Chavo. Chavo's tiny.
Mm-hmm.
He is billed 5'8", 220.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have put him about 215, so that would have been, yeah.
Come on, 5'8", 220, he should be like 195. 2 at the most. It's like he got too big. And the heart couldn't support. To me, it's just bittersweet.
No, I without a doubt. I hate that we have to go down that road, but you're right. He should have been. Someone should have stood up and said, "Hey, lay off."
And I didn't mean to bring a damper on this, but like that's my hot take. It's like You know, Eddie this, Eddie this, Eddie this. Not us, but like the world of professional wrestling. But like nobody wants to be like, dude, the guy was roided out of his gills and nobody stepped in to help.
I get what you're saying too, and like I said, I don't think he's really on. And if he is on something, I mean, he's not on much in 2004, but he is.
Hey, 2004. Is Steiner still around in 2004? I mean, they weren't doing testing in 2004.
No, but in 2005, when he passes away, just look at his build when he comes out in the "I'm Your Poppy" t-shirts. Like, brother, yeah. No, I get what you're saying, man. It's sad. It's sad. And unfortunately, I think it's just how that culture was. They didn't really think about that stuff. Like, a lot of those guys were on it.
Not at all.
So, they're all doing it. They're all living their lives.
Well,
and then
when your boss is doing it too, I mean, who's going to say anything, right?
Right.
Exactly. It's depressing.
Can I bring the mood up a little bit?
Go for it.
Here's my hot take. Everybody talks about JR and King. They're the best commentary team, this, that, and the other. Cole and Taz could give them a run for their money, if not beat them.
I think they're my favorite duo. I never was a big Jerry the King Lawler guy.
You just don't like puppies.
Puppies.
Paul Heyman on the microphone telling Undertaker to do the right thing.
Yeah, there you go. See,
I'm watching it. I'm sorry, it's on.
Yeah. Do the right thing, Undertaker. I just don't understand. I just don't. I was gonna say I agree with you though. Like, and I'm trying to think. So I liked Heyman, and going back and watching some of the old stuff with when it was Paul Heyman and Jim Ross. That was good.
Yep.
So yeah, just
very had their moments too.
I don't. Yeah, that take might be a hot take, but I'm with it. I'm with it. I think that you're completely correct. I think that is the best commentator duo of all time.
And the other thing that I have noted, I already said, and that's Charles Robinson having the greatest cardio of any ref ever.
Yeah, he's like 61 or 62.
And he'd still run into the ring like
he looks like he's 15 years younger. I mean, he looks amazing.
Yeah.
Didn't he do the run-in spot for the Punk Cena match? He did the run-in down the ramp back at whenever they had the Punk Cena match at Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, and then Cena took him out.
Correct.
Yes.
Yep.
Let's see here. What do we have next? Okay.
While Joe's deciding what we're doing next, we are Wrestlebacks, part of the Card Subject Change podcast family on For Frequency's Sake podcast network, powered by Lopez Pizza and built by Durham Remodeling. We appreciate you tuning in. Joe, where are we heading next?
Best unintentional comedy moment. Brian Hebner selling ref bumps, like we talked about, the power bomb that woke him up. Like JBL's like wailing on his back and he's just not moving. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if so we said how Kurt Angle was the GM on SmackDown, right? So one of the things about writing him off when he got surgery was they did a spot where Big Show chokeslammed him off of a balcony and he broke his leg. So he's in a wheelchair. He's in it gimmicked up. He's got the huge white leg brace on in the wheelchair. On SmackDown, he has this gimmicked stage, and anytime he comes out, he goes up through his own Kurt Vader, the Angle Vader, and the stage is draped with American flags. So it's all you just hear da 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 da, and it's just Kurt and it's just Kurt in the wheelchair coming through, just coming up from the ground. Anytime Kurt has to drop some general manager isms on SmackDown, and that got me watching the build up for the matches. That made me laugh. That was really good.
Yeah.
So what got me, I didn't note down if it was at Judgment Day or Great American Bash, but in the background at the end of one of these two matches, you see a dude with two signs.
Mm-hmm.
The first one says schmaz. The second one says dud.
The schmaz. Oh,
That got me.
There you go. No, there was also a guy in one of the matches wearing a CIA hat, and I was like, oh, is this guy here to arrest? Like, if is this guy here to arrest JBL or something for attacking people at the border? I don't know. Now someone's probably going to be wearing an ice hat during a JBL match. Anywho, sorry. Zing.
Hello.
What was the most 2004 thing about this? My biggest thing was all the signs in the crowd.
Yeah.
Don't get that anymore.
No, you don't. What's the most 2004 thing? I mean, this really does. I mean, the graphics maybe. Maybe a little bit of the presentation, but really nothing. I mean, nothing really shouts 2004 at me other than what you said about the crowd. You
know what my favorite part about these Ruthless Aggression shows are? We're at the last stage before you officially get remember when WWE started using high definition cameras and they called it, you're watching in WWE HD. These are the last few years before that. And I'm not saying the camera footage is grainy or fuzzy, but it's that perfect, edgy enough. You can tell oh, this is in the early to mid 2000s.
Yeah.
And it just looks good. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
And it's not if you're watching on the right television, it's not full screen. It's chopped on the edges.
That's what I have, brother.
Yep.
Same here.
Yep.
What was the most 2004 thing about this? During the Great American Bash, there were multiple hot tub segments that were led by a woman's wrestler in a skimpy bikini. You're not getting that in 2025, gentlemen. You're not getting that in 2025.
Not at all.
Probably not. Probably not.
Shout out to Sable and Tori Wilson. Any other what's the most 2004 thing about this?
Not from me.
No.
Picking nits. Do you guys have any nitpicks?
Okay. This might be also a hot take, but I love the ending of the Great American Bash match. Don't get me wrong. However, I'm going to nitpick this with it. The ref decision is always final, correct? They make a big deal about that off and on all the time. The ref's decision is final. So how does Kurt Angle have the ability to change the finish of the match? The ref declared Eddie the winner.
You're saying that this match opens up a can of worms.
Yes.
Think of all the big matches that have ended where a guy's foot was on the ropes and then the ref turns to ring the bell and the wrestler just pulls his foot off the ropes.
It's arbitrary use of instant replay. Yeah, I know. I get it. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, they make a bit. I've heard it said, maybe not as much recently, but I've heard it said, there's no instant replay in wrestling. The ref's decision is final. Well, it wasn't in this case. We got both instant replay and a ref's decision overturned by the general manager. That's not to say that it wasn't the right call. It was entertaining. I loved it. JBL won the way he should have won the match, but if I'm picking something apart, it's going to be that.
I think that's a great nitpick right there. Nick, you have any nitpicks?
Little less blood, but other than that, I'm good. I liked how this played out between the two. It was clash of styles, clash of personalities, clash of social backgrounds, and it reaped benefits. It put JBL on the map, and at the same time, Eddie looks great. So I love this feud.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Apex Mountain. The biggest thing I've got under here is for Apex Mountain is worst blade jobs.
There's something also in the wrestling world known as the Muda scale. The great Muda had a match back in the day with Hiroshi Hase and nearly died, like bled out in the ring. And there was just more blood so than this, I guess. So like, look up the Muda scale, go Google it. And but this is up there. Earlier in the show, I was looking for most bloody matches. Muda scale is Muda and Hase is mentioned. This match from Judgment Day is mentioned. And then the following year, Judgment Day 05 between JBL and Cena.
John
JBL
Cena, yeah.
bleeds like a stuck pig. So, we're probably in good company here with bloodiest matches. Memorable blood, non-death match. Mainstream WWE, AEW, whatever. Bloodiest matches.
Abdullah the Butcher matches.
No.
CZ, was that a good reference? Did I do good?
That was a good
I'll tell you this. I've watched Sabu and Terry Funk in ECW. The only time they ever did a barbed wire match.
Mm-hmm.
There's more blood in Judgment Day than there was in that match.
Oh, I bet.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Like, not even... there's one spot when Sabu's like bicep gets ripped open, but it's nothing compared to Guerrero's face bleeding all over the place. So,
you know what that just made me think of? Remember this is an AEW thing back in 2021. Remember when the Lucha Brothers and FTR were feuding?
Yep.
And FTR, one of the guy, I don't remember which one, but one of them, like their arm got ripped up on the steps.
No, his arm got caught in the turnbuckle cable.
Oh,
Cash Wheeler's arm got caught on the turnbuckle, and it ripped his arm skin off. Yeah.
Yikes! That just made me think of that. Anywho, any Apex Mountain candidates, CZ?
No, we've covered pretty much everything in that regard, in my opinion.
Okay. Any unanswerable questions?
Yeah, I do have one. If Eddie wins this match, the Great American Bash, and retains, who does he drop the belt to?
It's a great question.
That is.
They were heating up Booker T as a heel, but they did a mid card feud with him and John Cena. Really, it worked out because like all the people on SmackDown were faces.
We're like a year away from King Booker. We're a year from that. Yeah,
because the only reason King Booker happens is I guess not really the only reason, but like remember Batista got hurt because the belt switch, and WrestleMania 21 happens. And then Batista's champ, the belt switch brands. WrestleMania 22 happens. Rey Mysterio wins the title. Then that's when King Booker happens. Batista comes back from his injury. All that good stuff. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't have an answer, but that's I'm sitting here watching, man. Okay, if Eddie wins, we don't get the JBL that we all know that has become this great heel. And then I'm like, well, who wins it from? Who's he drop it to?
Maybe Angle, because Angle does come back. Angle comes back. They have a match at SummerSlam.
There you go. That could be that would probably be the best case scenario. Mm-hmm. Because I'm trying to think timeline wise, how long was Angle? When did Angle come back?
He did come back. Like they actually did have a match at SummerSlam.
Okay.
So like between Great American Bash and SummerSlam, there is a steel cage match between Eddie and JBL, and Eddie's trying to escape the cage, but Kurt Angle actually runs out in like a El Conquistador outfit.
That's right.
And stops Eddie. Eddie rips the mask off. It's Kurt. JBL wins, and then Kurt and Eddie have the match at SummerSlam, and then JBL goes into the successive feuds with The Undertaker, Booker T, and then they have the Fatal 4-Way match at Armageddon. Then they do like he does a thing with Angle and Big Show.
So
and then
who
leaks
is
to
it? Who do
Cena.
you think it's Angle then? You think you would have him drop it back to Angle?
Probably, yeah, because then you can have Angle be the one that heats up to get to lose to Cena, probably.
There you go. Ooh.
Yeah.
Think about that. I mean, just that's the one thing that I really, that's the one question I wrote down in circle. Like, yeah, I want to know what you guys thought about that because I really didn't have an answer. So
That's a good one.
You sure put the big question out there. I just had a couple of.
I'll throw one at you.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt, CZ, but Eddie could have dropped it to Ray.
I don't know if it was that. I don't know if the timing. I think the timing.
Yeah,
for
the timing
Ray,
wasn't.
Yeah.
Let's see. We're right after WrestleMania 20 here. Ray wins at 20.
Ray's still in the cruiserweight division.
You're right. I'm sorry.
We're about to
CZ, go ahead.
We're like
No.
a month away from Spike Dudley turning heel to be the cruiserweight champion in 2004. This is my childhood, man, so I remember all this shit.
Right.
Randy Orton wins the world title on Raw. Hey, man, I'm out here. I remember all this stuff.
Man. No, you're asking the hard-hitting questions. I'm just sitting here wondering who's turning on and off the lights in the corners. And I'm also wondering if JBL got his limo fixed after Eddie destroyed it or if it's a new limo.
Oh, I had that down. How that was one thing that I forgot to mention. The go home show for Great American Bash. Eddie, JBL gets all pampered up in New York City. They go to Long Island. He's like, this is a dump. He gets back in the limo, and Eddie does his version of the Undertaker.
Buckle up, Eddie.
Where to, Stephanie? Moment. So yeah, hold on. I don't have the angle here. Maybe let me Blair Witch this real quick. It's the where to, Stephanie. Sorry, I can't. I don't know. But yeah, that's the Eddie does that, and so yeah, you're right. Is that a new limo? Does he get it detailed? Who writes that check?
Oh, I'm guessing they're both sitting in Stamford somewhere in a junkyard.
Yep.
Vinnie Mac writes the check, and I'm guessing it's a whole new limo.
Is it the same limo that Vinnie Mac got in when he faked his death? Never mind.
Yeah.
Fun times at Ridgemont High. What was? Oh, who turned the lights on and off? Yep. If you go back and watch, JBL's lights are not all on at the end.
No, they're not.
The one in the car from the hard cam, the one in the back left got shut off.
Yep.
So, oh well. It is what it is.
That's all I've got.
I love it. Y'all are killing it with the unanswerable questions. That's two straight. I'll never forget CZ winning the last show with the how to solo steal the belt from -1. And you guys doing great. I love it. Lastly, who won the match?
I mean, officially JBL, but
correct. Both of them, technically.
Both of them, yeah.
Someone's career completely changed after this match, so I got to go with JBL. Eddie was already an accomplished great. Winning the WWE title was just the icing on the cake for him. Winning it on the biggest promotion, biggest stage in the world, or he won it before, but retaining against Angle. I think the winner is JBL. I mean,
hands down.
I mean, I'm just talking about the feud, and then after this match. He was the champ for 10 months. Everybody remembers him for these matches with Eddie Guerrero. So, exactly. I mean, I got to say JBL wins this one.
I agree, because it's easy to sit here all the time and be like, the guy who won the match, duh. But I think there's moments, too, where you're going like, both these guys won or somebody else outside of it had the biggest rub off of it. But you're right, in this aspect, this was the launching pad for, at the time, a heel that was massively needed. He had one of the longest reigns of our lifetime in the modern era, or however you want to phrase it. And it set up his career as a singles wrestler for the next decade, which I think that's about how long he went on for, about that, before finally being a full-time commentator.
Right, yeah. Right.
And bullying Mauro Ranallo, but regardless, too soon. But no, and again, say what you want about the character, man, but he absolutely fill the void that they needed badly. And I don't know where. I don't know. It's a rarity in wrestling where you just kind of you roll into something that is as found gold as this, and everything works. Like, is JBL the best worker in the world? Like on a wrestling belt, move by move status? No. He's a bit slow. He's a big guy. He's a bit clunky. But for a modern mid-2000s wrestler, when you're in there to start to catapult your career, to get heat, to go up against one of the most over dudes in the history of the world, it was a perfect start, a perfect launching pad. And these two guys, with their brains, with Eddie's brain on how to launch this into the stratosphere, and JBL's willingness to land everything that he threw, whether it was inside the ring or outside of the ring, these two guys did magic to carry this television show through the year 2024 or through the year 2004.
Yep.
And JBL was a massive success for in their eyes. Like I said, man, it's a rare, like I said, Nick, and I'm sure you'll both agree with me. It is a rarity that you kind of see something just literally out of nowhere. Like, you see stuff that builds right into a big moment, but not something that is a literal overnight, like, okay, we are screwed. We need this that we've never tried before to be huge, and all of a sudden it's huge.
And when John Cena beats JBL at WrestleMania 21, everyone's happy because everyone hated JBL.
Yes.
It works. It absolutely worked. Like, he wins the feud, and he wins this feud and becomes a 10-month world champion, and then makes the greatest of all time at WrestleMania 21. Puts the young guy over, doing the job. I mean, I just think he's underappreciated for what he did during this time span. And are we talking 5-star matches? No. You're right. He's big. He's clunky. He's a brawler. He's not a mat technician by any means. But, man, this was like a fish to water, him and this storyline and how it took off. And Eddie Guerrero being the major fuel for that. These guys were great.
No, I think they did great. Gentlemen, we're around the horn. Any final thoughts before we get up on out of here?
Nothing on my end. I think we covered everything.
No, I encourage people to go out and watch, JBL's matches from this run. Of course, these are, unforgettable with, of course, the opponent and the amount of blood loss and all that. But guy's a great wrestling mind. He has a good podcast. He does with Jerry Briscoe. It's pretty good. But if you're interested in that kind of thing, no, I had a lot of fun watching these matches and a lot more fun talking about them with you guys.
Absolutely.
I'm glad that we're 2 episodes in, man. I'm glad that I bugged you guys enough about this to where we are off and running.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Absolutely. And we'll stay tuned to socials for what our next match we're going to break down is. We'll announce that in a little bit here once Mr. Never Wrong decides what he wants to watch.
Yeah, I've kind of been put on the spot, but
I'm not putting you on the spot. I'm saying
I won't announce it yet. But come on, let's give me a good one. You know it.
Oh yeah. No. Well, that's going to wrap things up here. Just a reminder, you can catch Nick and I every Sunday on Card Subject to Change. This Sunday we'll be talking about Perth and Crown Jewel.
Crown Jewel, yes.
And, of course, you can catch our friend Joe the Show Winkle on Educated Ignorance, also on Sunday nights, but way, way, way past my bedtime for a Sunday, which we are there right now today on a Tuesday. I'm just throwing that out there.
The real time slot champions out here. You know me. We're your boys.
CZ, what time is that start on Saturday, Crown Jewel?
7 a.m. our time. 7 a.m. Central time.
I'm going to try. I'm going to try to watch it live just because it's just busy, college football going on. I'm going to try and watch it live.
Yeah, I am too.
And hopefully catch a nap after.
Right.
Because we got Dreamwave Saturday night.
We do. That'll be a lot of fun.
We're going to see a Buried Alive match, Joe.
Oh, my God.
Buried Alive.
Live and in person.
At an outdoor wrestling show.
That's fantastic. Wrestling.
Dominic Dijak is one of the opponents.
Oh my gosh.
Dijak and Hartenbauer. It's going to be awesome.
That is, that
100%.
I'm jealous I'm not going to be there.
We wish you could be there, man. But that is going to wrap up Wrestlebacks for this month. We will see you next month on the first Tuesday. For my trio's partners, Joe the Show Winkle and Never Wrong, Nick Bull, I am the Wizard CZ. Everybody go enjoy wrestling and have a fantastic rest of your evening.
Later, boys.
This has been a For Frequency's Sake Podcast Network production. For more great content, subscribe to For Frequency's Sake on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.